to address the overpaying, because I mean, who wants to overpay, right? I mean, this is one of the most expensive purchases you'll make. You don't want to overpay for a house, but even like wrap up this story. So 18 offers, obviously had to bid above asking price. Did they overpay for the house? What happened did they have an appraisal? What happened with that?
We got the appraisal back in 3 days, mind you. And the appraisal actually came back higher than the contract price. So, which isn't super common, but they're not overpaying for the house.
Multiple offers are not scary. It is not impossible to win them. Welcome to the Landis Look, where we take an inside look at the world of real estate. And today I'm here with Jeannette. Jeannette, welcome.
Thank you.
Right.
Happy to be back.
Yeah, great to have you here. And I started off with kind of a shocking statement about multiple offers are not scary and are not impossible. But I am hearing that a lot from people that are like, hey, it's impossible to get a house now. It's a really hard time to get a house. It is competitive, but it's not impossible, is it?
Right. I mean, that's what I tell my clients all the time. You know, people are going under contract on houses every day. We just have to figure out, what they're doing. We need to figure out ahead of time how many offers are on the house and then win it.
Yeah. Well, let's start with the story about that. So this is a true story, just happened to you. Let me tee it up. The clients, they had made offers on 4 other houses with another agent, didn't win them, not because they weren't trying. They decided they needed to switch representation. You started working with them, and what happened?
We got under contract on our first house.
And how many other people wanted to buy that house?
18.
18 offers on the house. All right. Yeah. So what was the difference here?
I think I'm a big fan of communication on both sides of the transaction. So, I talked to many conversations with the listing agent to kind of gauge where we were at. When we saw the house, it had been on the market for about an hour and already had an offer on it. And, talking to them and talking to the listing agent, I was finding out what they had done on their previous offers that really hadn't worked for them. And then kind of explaining to them why those things might not work in this situation and the strategies that we can help them to use to win on this one. And then obviously, I want to know if multiple offers means 2 offers, or in this case, if it means 18 offers. And just kind of guiding them through that and keeping up with the agent and finding out what's really going on, and just getting the house.
So it sounds like getting there really quickly was important because things are moving quickly. And it also sounds like communication, both, with the clients and the agent, was hugely important as well. You mentioned strategy. What about, and I don't know if you can share your secret sauce, but what about some of the strategies that you use that weren't being used previously, and we find that very few folks use? Can you share some of those secrets?
Yeah, I won't share the secret sauce.
You have to call Jeannette to get the actual secret.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Get us the high level of the secret.
I mean, the big thing is it's not necessarily all about price. I think a lot of people are really worried about overpaying right now, because inventory is obviously really low. And, if a house has 17 offers on it, it's probably going to go above the list price, right? But that's not the only thing that's important. And so part of what I try to do is figure out what the seller's story is, figure out what's really important to the seller. Some sellers, they're paying 2 mortgages right now. And so lining up a closing date and, whatever it might be on their end. But also I think peace of mind is really big for a seller, so we want to present them with a really clean offer, but we also want to be using, financial partners who can help us to submit offers that are essentially as good as cash offers, or, keeping our timelines short, all of that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, so true of understanding what is important to the seller, and to a lot of sellers, timing is important. To almost every seller, risk is important, right? Because you don't want to have 18 offers and then accept one that doesn't close, because the other 17, I mean, you may be able to go back to them, but they're not there. You want to pick the one that is going to close. And I mean, as you mentioned, we work with financial partners that essentially turn people's finance offers into the same terms as cash offers. And you routinely beat cash offers that are even sometimes higher than the financed offers that you're presenting. Seems almost impossible.
Right. I mean, it's multiple times recently, I've had listing agents reach out and say, we chose your offer and it's not the highest offer. We're choosing it because it's the most solid offer.
That is huge. All right. Now, to address the overpaying, because who wants to overpay, right? This is one of the most expensive purchases you'll make. You don't want to overpay for a house, but even wrap up this story. So 18 offers, obviously had to bid above asking price. Did they overpay for the house? What happened did they have an appraisal? What happened with that?
We got the appraisal back in 3 days, mind you. And the appraisal actually came back higher than the contract price. So, which isn't super common, but they're not overpaying for the house.
The appraisal came back higher than the contract price, which I don't know the exact percentages, but anyone who's seen a lot of appraisals know that the appraisal often comes out actually at the contract price.
Right.
Whenever you see it above, that basically means the appraiser had no choice but to appraise it higher. And you wouldn't think, unless you kind of dug into this, that could be possible. But that's what we're talking about with not overpaying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Jeannette, if someone is thinking about, man, should I jump into this market? Is it possible? Am I just going to keep trying and winning? Trying and not winning? What advice would you give somebody who, even after listening to this, they're still hesitant about jumping into a market where there's a lot of multiple offers?
I would say jump into that market with somebody who is going to prepare you to put your best foot forward, and get you to the place where you're winning those multiple offers. The last place I want to be is 6 offers deep and my clients are still thinking about house 1 that closed 2 months ago with another agent, So I think just picking your representation really well and knowing that person is, working as your best advocate, and is going to help you to put your best foot forward, knowing, all the information that they know about the house and about the, how many contracts they have, all of that good stuff to get you to the house.
Yeah. Because just because there are multiple offers doesn't mean you can't get it. Someone is going to get the house. And so why not you? But yes, I completely agree with you. It matters more than ever now who you're working with to give you the best opportunity to get the house. And price is not always the number one factor. It is a factor. Let's not pretend that it's not, but it's not always the number one factor. Well, man, Jeannette, thanks for taking the time to share this with us today. Congrats to you and your clients. The feeling of losing out on 4 houses and then winning the next one, has got to be amazing all around. And then to also find out the house appraises for more than they're buying for. That's pretty awesome.
All parties are pretty happy currently, so we'll keep it that way.
I love it. Well, if you all listening have any additional questions, drop us a message. We'd be happy to get back with you, talk about your specific situation. And Jeannette, thanks again for sharing your knowledge. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Bye.